What the fuck, SBA? Seriously, WTF? The latest announcements from the Small Business Administration shows that they are only processing 7,000 EIDL advances per week. At this rate, it will take nearly 3 years just to be caught up with the backlog. Why is it going to take so long? What can be done about it? And when will we finally get our $10,000 EIDL grants and the $5,000 bonuses? All this and more in today's video. Hello and welcome to Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. I'm a tech entrepreneur, real estate investor, author, YouTuber, paramedic, and Bonnie and Clyde are hanging out over in the living room. Look, I know I've said this many times, but it really does help. And the only way we are going to get our $10,000 EIDL grants and the $5,000 bonus grants is for all of us to stand together and make our voices heard. Make sure you comment down below with the hashtag TeamEIDL and share your video everywhere on social media. Tag your local news stations, your politicians, and demand somebody in DC finally get off their ass and save all of our businesses before we all go out of business. And of course, as my regular viewers will know, I have a team of outstanding lawyers that Clyde keeps chained up out by the pool. They used to be in the basement, but Florida doesn't have basements, now they get to hang out by the pool. Anyways, the reason why I bring this up is the stinking little lawyers get a little rowdy when I make a video, and the only way to calm them down is to give a quick disclaimer. The video is for entertainment purposes only. My opinions, they're my opinions. You guys already know this. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not legal financial tax advice. Also, while I have you here, why don't you check out Webull, deposit $100 and you will get 2 free stocks. Or if stock investing is not exactly your thing, you could check out the other pinned video down below where you can get the equivalent of 40 free lottery tickets every single week. Doing so helps support the channel and gives me the ability to buy more treats for Bonnie and Clyde, and they really like that. Okay, enough of that, let's get to today's video. Some of you guys saw that I have been having some major problems with my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K camera last week. And after multiple days of messing with it and a bunch of hours on the phone with tech support, finally got it working. The color's still a little bit off, but anyways, I think it's kind of close to back to normal now. As I covered in one of my previous videos last week, there are multiple reasons why the SBA is being so incredibly slow in authorizing their $10,000 EIDL advance and the 24 months of working capital. My belief, one of the primary reasons is pressure from the top, and it's political pressure, and they are forcing the SBA to be slower. Why, you ask? Well, I covered all this in great detail in the previous video, but needless to say is it gives them the cover and the excuse to spend trillions of dollars more because the economy is weakened. If they fix the problem, then there'll be no justification to spend more money to fix something that they had already fixed. I covered all that in a previous video, link down below, check it out. But today I want to cover a slightly different angle. We all know that Congress is basically the root cause of most of the problems with the EIDL program. The initial CARES Act required the SBA to ramp up to levels of staffing that they have never had before, and they were very ill prepared to handle this. Back in early 2020, I proposed a very simple process where a business owner could go to their local bank and, just like the PPP program, have the bank verify their status of their business and their loan. This would have reduced the massive amount of paperwork and headache on the SBA and would have reduced an awful lot of the fraud problems, and more importantly, would have given all of us our $10,000 EIDL grants 6, 8, 9, 10 months ago, a year ago, plus of course the $2 million in loans. Instead, Congress made the entire program a complete cluster. They forced the SBA to be responsible for the entire program, and the SBA failed, and they failed miserably. Then, to add salt to the wound, Congress added the Targeted EIDL Advance program. And by doing this, they added even more work to the already overworked SBA. Instead of just having to verify that you are a valid business, now the SBA must also verify that you had a 30% reduction in income, or 50% for that $5,000 bonus. Your business must also be located in a low area income. We already know all these stupid rules. The problem with these extra rules is they added even more work to the SBA and delayed the entire process for all of us. We all know the SBA has completely missed the legally required 21-day timeline for pretty much everybody that's applied for the grant. This, along with many other issues, has led many to speculate that Isabella Guzman is so fed up with everything that she is purposely drawing public attention to this. Recently, she penned multiple letters to Congress, basically saying, and I'm going to paraphrase here, give the SBA more money to hire more staff so they can process these loans quicker, or remove all of the stupid, idle, targeted advance requirements. From my perspective, the current set of laws that govern the SBA, specifically the EIDL program, needs to be completely scrapped. A simplified law that I would propose Congress follow would be something like this. Number 1, you must have been a legally formed business before the pandemic and filed your 2019 business taxes. Doesn't matter if you were an S Corp, C Corp, LLC, partnership, whatever. As long as you filed your taxes, you're good as far as I'm concerned. Whatever income you reported on your 2019 taxes would be used to calculate your estimated 2020 and now 2021, because Congress took so frickin' long to implement this. But this would be used to justify and estimate what you would have made if the pandemic was not here. Of course, if you were a brand new business in 2019 and you were only open for a couple months, just keep this simple, and whatever money you made for 3, 4, 6 months, just extrapolate it across the entire year as if you were open for the entire year. Number 3, I would add a 2% inflation amount to your annual income. Number 4, I would divide your annual income and automatically put direct deposits into your business checking account every single month for as long as the pandemic continues. Number 5, at the end of the year, if for whatever reason you were overpaid, the amount of that would be transitioned to a loan and the rest would be a grant. Don't worry, I'll explain this part in a second. Okay, now I've mentioned a handful of rules, all with basic math word problems. And I know people don't really like word problems, so let's give a quick example. If your business brought in $500,000 in revenue in 2019, now that's income, not profit. You're going to add your 2% for inflation, which in this example will be $10,000. Now you have $510,000. And we would divide that equally across 12 months, giving you $42,500 per month in direct deposit stimulus funds. At the end of the year, let's say after calculations you took a 30% hit in your business sales because of the pandemic. So in this example, you generated $350,000 in business income instead of your normal $500,000. So for this example, that means you would have basically brought in $150,000 less than you normally would have made. My proposal would have the SBA remove or write off $150,000 of your stimulus. That's now your grant. Instead of $10,000, my proposal for this example, you would have received $150,000 in the grant. The additional money that was direct deposited in your account as stimulus would be a 30-year fixed loan, like the current EIDL program. I would have a few additional rules in my mythical Stephen is way smarter than Congress EIDL Act to be eligible for the grant part of the program. You must have maintained full employment with your employees and payroll at the same level of pre-pandemic. So basically, if you had 2 full-time employees before COVID, you must have 2 full-time employees paid at the same or higher amounts at the end of COVID. Additionally, I would have added incentives for businesses to hire more staff and increase their payroll for lower income workers. For example, if you bring all of your employees up to a minimum of $15 per hour, that additional increase I would have used as part of the grant. My goal with my version of the EIDL program would be to keep small businesses strong, keep people employed, and provide an incentive to businesses to pay more to their employees. Instead, Congress did everything they possibly could to guarantee small businesses went bankrupt. In the end, large multi-billion and even multi-trillion-dollar corporations saw massive increases in profit. And you and me, the little people, we all got shafted. So what is your status? Did you get your EIDL grant? What about your 24 months of working capital? What do you think about my proposed Stephen is way smarter than Congress EIDL Act proposal? Would it work? Do you have any better ideas? What do you guys think? Comment down below.
So they're going to have to do something to avoid a lawsuit because they're not only breaking the law, and it's Congress's fault, not the SBA with respect to the 21 days, because they don't have enough on staff. They're starting to realize because of all the liking, retweeting, sharing, ranting, and fucking raving by guys like me, Speak and See, Rod Squad, Steven Carlson, Max Maher, Ryder over at Skip, you know the crew. They're starting to realize that what we have been saying now for over 13 months is actually true. You deserve 10,000, regardless of size, location, or credit score. The caps need to be at $2 million where they belong. It's 24 months of working capital, not in 6 fucking months. I would say respectfully within 4 or 5 weeks, tops. And yes, I am going to work, and this only gives us more ammunition. If they're going to go this fucking slow, like I said on Twitter this morning, that is even more reason that Big Ben Cardin and I should be successful in wiping out the EIDL loan altogether so you don't pay the SBA a damn dime. Because if it really is going to take, like they're telling folks, call them 800-659-2955. Hey, I'm hearing from some tier 2 agents that it could take up to 6 months for me to get my 24 months of working capital. Now, depending on how honest that person is or how much experience they have, they're going to say, yeah, in some cases it could take that long, especially for people that are just applying now. Or
Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you click like and subscribe. Doing so really helps the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it, as do Bonnie and Clyde. It's currently taking a nap. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.